We often think of found footage, those old tapes, as capturing happy moments, family holidays, weddings, that sort of thing. But sometimes tapes surface that. Well, they don't hold joyful memories at all. They contain things that are genuinely disturbing, inexplicable, things that hint at a darkness we might prefer not to think about. So today we're recounting 5 such terrifying and truly unsettling lost tapes. These aren't just campfire stories. They're accounts based on actual recordings that were unearthed. We'll explore where they came from, the mysteries surrounding them, and the chilling truths they might reveal. It's going to be quite a journey through some seriously unsettling material. We'll stick to the facts and the backstories from our sources, but we won't be focusing on, graphic details. Let's begin.
It really is striking, isn't it, how a simple video or tape can open a window onto something so disturbing, especially when you don't know where it truly came from.
Absolutely. And our first story is about a video that's been picked apart online pretty much since it first appeared. It's called the Blank Room Soup video. It first showed up November 26, 2005, uploaded to YouTube by an account named Renaissance Men. The original title was actually Freaky Soup Guy. But what's strange right from the start is that this Renaissance Men account, it was created just one day before the video went up. Like, its only purpose was to post this one bizarre clip.
Right, which immediately raises flags.
Exactly. The first clip is, well, it's unnerving, but there's no violence.
Yeah.
Then in 2007, a second video appears. Same 3 figures, but the ending just ramps up the speculation because it feels incredibly ominous.
And that's where the really horrific rumors started. It's amazing how quickly people fill in the gaps when there's no information. The most persistent one, the really awful one, is that it came from the dark web, a so-called snuff movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The story goes the man was kidnapped, forced to eat soup made from his murdered wife, and then killed on camera. But, and this is really important, our source states very clearly there is absolutely nothing to back this theory up. 0 evidence.
Okay, that's somewhat reassuring. But the fact that rumor was so persistent, what does that tell us?
Well, it shows how, when faced with something strange and unexplained, maybe the human mind tends to latch on to the most extreme, the most horrific possibility, especially online. Context collapse fuels that kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So putting the dark web stuff aside, what do we actually know?
Okay, so the facts are these. The costumes, the big weird heads, their character's called Ray Ray. They were created by an animator, Raymond Percy. He actually worked on shows like The Simpsons.
Oh, okay, so a legitimate creator.
Exactly. Apparently the characters were inspired by his own self-perception, kind of brought to life as this live performance act around 2012. But here's the twist. Raymond Percy himself says the videos didn't come from him.
Huh, but they're his characters.
Right. He claims his props, the Ray Ray costumes, were stolen from his car. This was after a performance on Hollywood's Sunset Strip, and shortly after that theft, he says he received these weird videos via email.
Wow.
Yeah, and he apparently commented on how sinister the movements were of the people in the costumes. He said they must have really studied the professional performers closely.
So, given all that, Raymond, the stolen props, what's the most likely story here? I mean, did the thieves make the videos? Was it just some bizarre prank? Or, maybe a cover for something else? Could Raymond have even made them himself?
It leaves a lot of questions unanswered, doesn't it? Was it the thieves trying to be edgy? A prank gone wrong? A criminal disguise? Or even Raymond playing some strange game? We just don't know for sure. The source doesn't give a definitive answer.
Okay, so from a mystery where the horror might be, partly imagined, we shift to something where the disturbing reality is undeniable because it was recorded in detail by the person responsible. This is the really sad and deeply unsettling story of Ricardo Lopez in his video diary.
Yeah, this one is profoundly tragic.
Ricardo was, by all accounts, a troubled young man. He isolated himself quite early on, developed these intense obsessions with celebrities. First, it was actress Junia Davis, but then in 1993, his focus shifted entirely to the Icelandic singer Björk. He called her his muse in his journal, wrote about how much he loved her.
And as his fixation grew, his connection to reality seemed to weaken. The real breaking point, the catalyst, came in 1996. He found out Björk was in a relationship with the musician Goldie, and Ricardo just lost it. He was enraged. He saw their relationship, an interracial relationship, as unacceptable. That's the word he used.
Wow.
So January 14th, 1996, he starts this video diary, and almost immediately, right at the start, he's talking about his outrage and his plan to kill her.
Right at the beginning.
Yes. And over the next 8 months, as he keeps recording, you see this awful spiral. His mental state just deteriorates into mania. He's constantly ranting against Björk and Goldie, making repeated racist remarks about Goldie, even though sometimes he'd sort of acknowledge his own ignorance, as he put it. The videos themselves are hard to watch. He's often naked, looks disheveled. He's just chronicling his thoughts, but also, chillingly, the step-by-step process of building an explosive device, a bomb he planned to mail to Björk's home in London.
God, it's hard to even imagine watching that, knowing what he was planning, what happened in the final recording.
His last tape was September 12th, 1996. He'd shaved his head, painted his face. He's holding a gun. Björk's music is playing. Behind him, there's a sign that says, "The best of me."
Then, just as the song ends, he shouts, "This is for you," and shoots himself. Oh my God.
His body wasn't found for 4 days. Neighbors reported a bad smell.
But the bomb, did he send it?
He did send it. And this is the one piece of mercy in this whole horrific story. When the police found his body and the video diaries, they immediately understood the danger. They alerted Scotland Yard in London. The mail bomb was intercepted before it reached Björk.
Thank goodness.
Wow. It's such a tragic case. Ricardo's diary isn't just about mental illness, though it's clearly that.
No.
It's also a terrifying example of how these one-sided parasocial relationships can turn dangerous when combined with severe mental health issues. It really bypasses all the normal checks and balances. It's just a stark, awful reminder of how serious mental illness can manifest and how crucial awareness and support systems are.
Absolutely. Okay, so Ricardo Lopez's tapes, they give us this horrifyingly clear window into one person's breakdown. But our next piece of found footage takes us right back into the completely unknown, a real cold case, found in the most ordinary way. This is a really obscure tape. It was uploaded to YouTube by someone called Christian Rohanski back on December 18th, 2015.
Yeah.
The title was just, "We Had Found Footage."
Varied.
Yeah. And the description gave this brief story about how they found it. Apparently, they bought these large boxes at an estate sale. $5 a box. It was in a barn somewhere about 50 miles west of Austin, Texas. The boxes were just there, mixed in with old records, tools, stuff like that. The sellers didn't even know what was in them.
Just forgotten media.
Exactly. And inside were films in all sorts of formats, old 35mm reels, Betamax tapes. And the footage seemed to feature the same people recurring. Rohanski mentioned a lot of the films were damaged, but said they'd try to repair them, clean them up, and post more as they went through everything.
Okay, sounds intriguing. What happened next?
Well, that's the thing, nothing. Despite asking viewers in that initial description if anyone recognized anything or had info, the comments on the video were disabled.
Oh.
Yeah. And Christian Rohanski never uploaded another video. Ever.
So just never radio silence after that one post.
Total silence.
Yeah.
The footage itself, mostly black and white, kind of flickering, unsettling images. But beyond that initial upload and description, nothing. No more information, no explanation. It just sits there online. A complete mystery.
A true digital ghost. Yeah. That lack of follow-up is almost as strange as the footage itself.
It really is. Why ask for help identifying it and then just disappear?
Yeah.
And disable comments? Does that suggest anything to you? Maybe they found something they didn't want to know?
It certainly deepens the enigma. It could mean anything, really. Maybe they got scared. Maybe they realized it was something deeply private they shouldn't have shared. Maybe it was just a project they abandoned. Or maybe it was all just an elaborate, unfinished hoax. The silence leaves all those possibilities open. It's frustratingly inconclusive.
Definitely. Okay, our next tape takes us into potentially even darker territory, allegedly from the infamous dark web. This one is known as the dark web kidnap tape. And the premise is deeply disturbing. If it's real, it shows a girl being held captive.
Right.
The claim is, it was filmed over 2 days, Wednesday, August 13th to Friday, August 15th, back in 2014. Though the video itself is edited down to just over 2 minutes, watching it, it seems pretty clear you're seeing someone held against their will. And online, people immediately started suggesting this was evidence of a red room.
Ah, yes, the Red Room mythos.
Exactly. That supposed dark website where people supposedly pay cryptocurrency to watch live torture or even murder.
The thing about this specific video, the kidnap tape, is the absolute lack of solid information. We don't know where it truly came from, who the girl might be, nothing concrete. Because of that, many people argue it's fake. You know, maybe a disturbing student film project or something like that.
Which is possible, I suppose.
It is. However, it's probably wise not to just dismiss it out of hand. We have to be cautious about assuming it's fake just because the alternative is too grim. The very existence of videos like this, real or hoax, points to that dark side of online anonymity. It enables creativity, sure, but also horrific crimes, blurring those lines between fiction and reality in a really unsettling way.
And there have been actual cases, haven't there?
Tragically, yes. We have to remember Peter Scully, an Australian man arrested in the Philippines in 2015. He was distributing pay-per-view videos on the dark web, absolutely sickening footage of the torture and rape of young children.
Oh, God.
So while the specific idea of a live-streamed Red Room might still be debated, the fact that people are creating and selling videos of real torture and abuse online, that is horrifyingly real. It's a stark warning. The darkest corners of the internet exist, whether or not the exact Red Room myth is true.
That's a chilling thought.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, we turn to two names that are sadly very well known in the annals of crime: Leonard Lake and Charles Ng. Their horrific spree came to light in 1985. They were responsible for the rape, torture, and murder of Paul Logan. Well, estimates range from 11 to maybe 25 people between 1983 and 1985 in California.
Truly monstrous crimes.
They committed these acts in a bunker. Leonard Lake had built it because he was preparing for nuclear apocalypse. And they had this plan. They actually named it Operation Miranda. The goal was to kidnap and imprison women, basically as sex slaves, to fulfill their sadistic fantasies.
And what became absolutely crucial in bringing Ng to justice, even after Lake was dead, was the evidence Leonard himself created. He kept journals, detailed journals, but he also kept video diaries, tapes of their crimes.
He filmed them.
Yes. And these tapes, this horrifying documentation, became critical evidence in Charles Ng's eventual conviction. On the tapes, Leonard is just candidly talking about his thoughts, his plans, his aspirations. It gives you this absolutely chilling insight into his warped mind. These weren't just recordings. They were first-hand accounts that directly implicated Ng, countering his later claims that he was just a reluctant participant.
How did it all finally end? How were they caught?
It unraveled in 1985. Charles Ng tried to shoplift something, I think it was a vice, from a store in San Francisco. He fled when confronted. Leonard Lake, worried, actually went to the store later to pay for the stolen item, but the police were already there, and they noticed something wasn't right. Ng had dropped his driver's license when he fled, but the photo ID belonged to one of their victims, and it obviously didn't look like Lake, so the police started questioning Lake. He must have realized the game was up.
Right. The bunker, the victims, it was all going to come out.
Exactly. So Lake, who had apparently prepared for this, had a cyanide capsule sewn into his clothes. He took it right there at the police station, died 4 days later.
And
Ng managed to escape, fled all the way to Canada. He was eventually caught there, ironically, for another shoplifting incident and assault. After a long legal battle, he was extradited back to California to face murder charges. During his trial, he kept insisting he was just Leonard's pawn, just a bystander.
But the videos.
But the videos showed otherwise. It's widely believed that without Leonard Lake's own tapes, securing a conviction against Ng for the murders of those 11 people would have been incredibly difficult, maybe even impossible. He's currently on death row in San Quentin State Prison. And of course, our deepest sympathies go out to all the victims and families affected by their truly barbaric actions.
So these tapes we've discussed today: Blank Room Soup, Ricardo Lopez, Christian Rohanski, the alleged dark web tape, Leonard Lake. They offer these really unsettling glimpses into some very dark corners. They show the power of recorded media, not just for memories, but for exposing disturbing truths, and often leaving us with more questions than answers.
Yeah, they really force you to confront realities that are often hidden or ignored.
So the question lingers. What do these glimpses tell us about the truths that might be lurking just beneath the surface of everyday life? And maybe, how much do we really want to know? If you found these accounts captivating, disturbing as they are, and you want to explore more chilling stories, please do like this deep dive, share it with others who appreciate these kinds of terrifying tales, and make sure you subscribe to the Horror Docs channel for more content like this. Thank you for joining us on this unsettling journey today.